welcome to another edition of You and Your Uke. And today a ukulele review, and a ukulele review of this. This is the Nova U Pro Tenor. We're going to ask 4 questions. First of all, what is Nova U? Secondly, what is the Nova U Pro? Thirdly, what is the Transacoustic system which this model has? And fourthly, is it worth the upgrade? Before we do any of that, I'm just going to play you a little bit on this particular instrument so you can get some idea of how it sounds. So what is a Nova U? Well, maybe you've been outside the ukulele community for the last few years. Nova U's are a ukulele made by a company called Enya. Enya make a whole range of ukes, different materials. So they make wooden ukes, laminate wood, also solid wood, tone wood ukuleles. They make ukuleles at different prices. So from extremely low budget right up to the kind of highest 4-figure ukes, although the top end are kind of custom built, but they still make them. The Nova U's are made from polycarbonate material, so they are described as carbon fibre. Polycarbonate is actually plastic which is enhanced with carbon fibre, so it's slightly different, but essentially it's very strong, a plastic material which has some tonal qualities. They are styled like a kind of Les Paul guitar shape. Sound hole in the middle is the Enya logo. They also have a side sound port. You will see on this uke I have got buttons. This has a Transacoustic system, and we'll talk about that in a little while. But the original Nova U ukes were this shape, acoustic, polycarbonate, so resistant to heat changes, easy to wipe clean. You could leave them in the back of your car on a hot summer's day, wouldn't be a problem. You could play outside if it rained, wouldn't be a problem. So for particular purposes, they're very useful. They're also very thin, they're also incredibly lightweight. So as a travel uke, they are also a very attractive offer. I no longer have the original Nova U, but I can play you a little sound sample of my orange concert Nova U that I used to have. So they came in all sorts of colours. I decided to go for the orange. I was feeling a bit garish at the time, and they came only as a concert uke. We'll talk about the Nova U Pro Tenor in a moment, but let's look back at what the Nova U concert used to sound like. Let's have a look at the changes in the new Nova U Pro. What is it that gives it that title Pro? Well, the first obvious change that you will notice even before picking it up is that this ukulele is bigger than either of the other versions of the Nova U. That's not an upgrade. That's just because this now is a tenor for the first time with the Nova U, and the other two ukuleles were a soprano and a concert. No one size of ukulele is inherently better than any other. They all have different qualities, different tonal qualities, different feels. Different players prefer different types of ukulele, but not any uke is necessarily better than another just because of its size. So the fact that this is a tenor is not an upgrade. But there are features in this which certainly would be considered to be an upgrade. And the first thing you will notice when you pick it up is how it feels in the hand. So the edges of the new Nova U Pro are much more rounded, much more comfortable. I can't say that the old ones felt uncomfortable, but this is a real delight to hold and to play. It fits really nicely under the arm. It's actually so comfortable to play. It's an absolute joy. So the first upgrade are the rounded edges. A lot of people who used to play Nova U's complained about the fact that there were no side dots. So you're constantly looking over to see the fret markers on the fretboard itself, as opposed to just on the edge. They have now put side dots. Many Nova U players used to get Sharpies and put those in themselves. Don't need to now. They're there for you. The next obvious difference when you're looking at the fretboard is that they now have metal frets. So the old Nova U's had inbuilt plastic frets that were part of the fretboard. They were moulded into the fretboard, whereas now they have fitted metal frets, and they're fitted very good metal frets, and they've fitted them very well. So the edges are beautifully chamfered off, absolutely smooth, no rough edges in that at all, and of course the metal frets will enhance the tonal qualities of the uke. Thinking about tonal qualities, we've talked about this being a polycarbonate ukulele. That is to say, plastic with carbon fibre in it. There is more carbon fibre in the body of this uke than the old Nova U's, and that higher percentage of carbon fibre will improve the tonal qualities. Other than that, the only other major change, and I wouldn't really call this an upgrade because anybody can change strings, is that they now come fitted with what I consider to be better strings. So they now come fitted with D'Addario strings. The old Nova U's had Enya strings. Personally, I found them a little bit loose and flabby. The D'Addario strings have a higher tension, and again, I think that improves the sound. That's not really an upgrade. That's personal choice, and of course, anybody can change a set of strings. However, as an experience of picking this out the box and playing it, I think the strings improve it. There are spare sets of strings, and they do include a spare set of Enya strings in case people preferred the original. Other than that, the other features of the Nova U are still there. So still that wonderful Les Paul shape, still the swooping headstock at the top there, same machine heads, which are okay, they're not the best, but they're all right. And the sound port and the Transacoustic system are not new. I consider this to be a better ukulele. I find it more comfortable to play. I prefer the sound. They have also made some improvements on the pod case. So the zips are better. The zips I used to find failing, and they now have straps on the back. So all in all, the Nova U Pro, I think it's fair to say, is an upgrade on the old Nova U Concert. Whether it's value for money or not, we'll have a think about. This particular model, the Nova U Pro Tenor, has also their Transacoustic system, which is activated by these knobs on the side. Now, the Transacoustic system was available in the previous models of the Nova U's, so it's nothing new particularly, but let's just have a listen to what it does. I'm going to just play a little bit of finger picking with the whole thing off, so this is just a straight acoustic sound. If I press and hold the left hand button until the green light comes on, then I've activated the Transacoustic system and I can play with some reverb. There is also, on the button on the right, an effects knob. Now this is described in some reviews as being a chorus. I think, to my ears certainly, it works as a chorus up to the midway point, and after that becomes a delay. So let's just kind of hear it just before the midway point. If we crank it up a bit further, then I think you will hear that's a delay. Okay, so that's obviously overdone, but let's pull the delay down a bit and then bring in the reverb. to there. Then you get a sense of how you might use it. So, is the upgrade worth the money? Well, let's talk about money. So the original Nova U's in the UK, and I can only talk about the UK, I don't know of the cost of them in other countries in the world. So the original Nova U's in the UK were between 70 and 80 pounds. You could get them from Amazon. Some shops and dealers also sold them, but you could get them from Amazon, free delivery. The Nova U Pro Tenor costs £180. With the Transacoustic system, costs £190. On top of which there is the delivery charge of £50. That makes the total cost of getting this particular model 3 times the cost of the original Nova U concert. Now, I can't tell you whether that's good value for money or not. I've always said something about the Nova U's which sounds like I'm dismissive of them. I'm not. What I say about them is this: they are very, very good ukuleles, given what they are. Now, that's not putting them down, but it is accepting they are polycarbonate ukuleles. They are not wooden ukuleles. They are thin-bodied travel ukuleles, in my view. So I would never opt to play this as opposed to my high-quality wooden ukes. It just doesn't have the sound that I prefer. It has its own sound. It doesn't have the sound of a wooden ukulele. However, given the depth, given the portability of it, it has a very, very good sound in my view. I think the Transacoustic system is quite remarkable. And there are certain circumstances where I would opt to play this ukulele rather than my Kanaka or my Nui Nui. If I'm in a situation where my uke might get passed around, so I'm playing a song with it and somebody says, "Oh, can I have a go? I've never played one of those." This one, yes, without a second thought. Some of my others, maybe not so much. If I'm in a situation where I need to leave this leaning up against a wall somewhere outside, this one I don't worry about. I wouldn't do that so much with my other ukes. So there are certain circumstances that really suit these ukuleles, and I know people in countries in the world where there are extremes of climate favour these for that very reason. So I repeat again, the Nova U's are very, very good for what they are. And I think there's probably a space in any ukulele collection for one of these. You can be the person to decide whether there is a need in your ukulele collection and in your particular circumstance for one of these. You'd also have to decide whether you really want the tenor or whether you'd be happy with the concert. because as I've said, there is a huge price difference between the two. Now, I've spoken to Enya about the price difference, and they have explained to me that at the moment, and maybe this will change, at the moment the Nova U Pro Tenors are not in mass production. So they're producing a small number of them, and of course at the moment in the world, transportation anywhere of anything is expensive. So some of those costs are now being passed on to the customer, which is why, as I've said earlier, this particular model is 3 times the cost in the UK of buying a Nova U standard concert. I can't tell you whether that's worth it or not. I can only put the facts before you. So that's my look at the Nova U Pro Tenor Transacoustic. I'm very interested to know what you thought of this review. Be really interested to know what you think of this instrument. Is it something you've been really looking forward to getting, or at least hearing? Is it something you think you might buy? Is the price rise off-putting for you to a degree where you won't get it, or maybe you'll wait and see what happens? Do let me know. Leave me a comment. I'm going to finish by doing one more thing. So I've talked about the Transacoustic system that shown you that it can provide some sort of amplification of its own without plugging it into anything, but of course there is a jack socket on this whereby you can plug it into an amplifier, and if you can plug it into an amplifier, then you can plug it through effects pedals. And what sort of person would you be if you didn't at least try? I mean, it's shaped like a Les Paul, you know. You've got to ask yourself, what happens if you stick it through a distortion pedal? I'm going to finish with that. Okay, see you soon. So happy.